Okay, so today I thought I'd do a little tutorial on how to change your blades on the Cub Cadet RZT L 46-inch cut with a fabricated deck. The reason I'm changing my blades is because I was getting some kind of unsatisfactory cutting in my yard out here. I noticed as I was cutting, if you can kind of see the lines there in the yard, about every other row it would cut these lines. Kind of uneven. It's hard to see on the video here, but what I figured it was because I don't know, a couple months ago I was cutting and I hit a stick or something behind the fence. I was trying to clean up a bit and I think I bent the blade. I tried to straighten it back out and I don't think that worked too well. So today we're going to try to change the blades and see if that helps the problem. For this today we're going to need a few tools. Of course you're going to need your new blade set. They are the 46-inch blade set. Part number is 942-04244A. 46-inch blade set. They come in two blades. I'm going to try to measure these blades for you. 23 and a quarter. 23 and a quarter inches long is the blade. They're both the same length. The other tools you're going to need is a set of needle nose pliers. You're going to need a 15/16 socket, a long wrench or a breaker bar. I have a impact driver, and you're going to need a little block of wood. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to lower the deck all the way down to the ground as far as we can get it. So hopefully it is resting on the ground. And we're going to pull that little pin out right there. I'm going to grab it with the needle nose pliers, pull down on that little pin, and hopefully it doesn't go flying across the yard. There we go. Now while we're here, we're going to set that to the side for now. While we're here, I'm going to go ahead and lift up on the deck just a little bit and pull that pin or that bar out of the front. That'll lower the front of your deck down on the ground. Next, we're going to move right back here to this pin. Now these on this model are a quick detach design. So again, lift up on the deck just a little, pull the pin out. And it comes right out. We'll move around to the other side and do the very same thing. At this point, you're probably going to need to go ahead and grab your belt tensioner right there and slide your belt off, which can be a little more difficult by yourself. Once you get your belt off, hopefully it'll loosen this up enough to where you can get your pin out. And now your deck is on the ground. Now, to get these bars out of your way for a moment, so you can slide the deck out, you can just go ahead and raise them back up. That way they're up and out of the way to make it easier for you to slide the deck out. Okay, so now that you got everything up out of the way, you're just going to reach down here and grab a hold of it and slide it right out. And at this point, you can go ahead and flip it over. The side you're going to want to be working on. Be very careful. Try not to let it fall on your toes or anything like that. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and these two bolts, we're going to try to take those off. I'm going to try to use my impact wrench maybe to make my life a little easier. Let's see what happens. Just like that. Over to the next one. Okay, I'm going to put this back on just for a moment, just to kind of give a little demonstration. All right, the reason I wanted to do this was because if you don't have an impact driver, like I had mentioned earlier, you're going to have to go a different method. Like we had spoke about before, you may need a long ratchet with the same 15/16 socket, or you could also use the 15/16 wrench. Now that method, as I spoke about before, was with a block of wood. You're going to place that block of wood in there and get it wedged in between your deck and the blade, nice and firm, and take either your wrench or your ratchet and loosen your nut, or vice versa. With the ratchet, same thing, loosen the nut. Then you can remove the blade and you're ready to take it off. Now, as I had said before, I think my blades have gotten bent some kind of way. So let's try to take this guy right here and maybe compare him to one of these new ones. Yeah, and as you can see, we don't have that nice even gap right there like we should. So that means this blade is probably bent. That side, maybe not as bad. Maybe actually a little bit closer. Try the same thing with this other blade. And again, not a nice even gap. The blades should be pretty even. See, that one's bent out quite a bit actually. They're not touching in the middle here. To compare the two new blades together, see, you got a nice even gap, all the way down each side. So that proves my theory that my blades were bent. But we'll get back to reinstalling the new blades. Try to get this camera here where you can see what's going on. Now make sure, because you're working upside down, you don't make the mistake that I've made before on a previous lawnmower and install your blades upside down. You want the lift of your blade to be pointed up when the blade is in the upright position. So you're actually going to point the lift down when they're upside down. Again, same thing on the other side. These have these little star designs on them right there, and have the opposing side on the hub of the blade itself, or the blade shaft itself. Again, you're going to go ahead and install your nut on both sides. We're going to get our impact driver, and torque goes back down. Now, I always like to take this opportunity to go ahead and ensure that the blades are good and tight, good and snug, so they don't come off. Again, you're going to need to wedge a block of wood in there and go ahead and get your long wrench or ratchet. I prefer to use the longer ratchet. It gives you a little more torque. And just make sure they're nice and tight. Move over here to this one. Get that block of wood wedged in there. And just make sure it's nice and snug. All right. So now we've got our nice new blades on there. At this point, it'd be a good idea to go ahead and make sure there's no lubrication fittings or anything that's under here on the bottom side of your deck that you don't normally service on a regular basis. And take the opportunity to go ahead and check and make sure if there's any nuts or bolts or whatnot like that that may be exposed that you don't normally have access to. Just make sure they're all there. Make sure they're nice and snug. You don't see anything that would lead you to believe that they're vibrating loose or anything like that. Then you're going to slide your deck back under. And now we're going to go ahead and let the arms, the height arms all the way back down. Try to slide your hand under here. It's kind of difficult because you have to lay on the ground to do it. Pull your pin back out. Okay, so make sure this arm is on the correct side. That doesn't go between there. It actually rides on the back side of this bracket. That's the problem I was having just now. Pinched my finger. So let's try this again. Slide it up there, get it lined up. Oops. There we go. I'm just gonna move around to the other side. Again, same thing, it's on the back side of this bracket here. Pull it around, stand up, put our hole in there. And it can be a little tricky. Again. There we go. Now those two are lined up. Now we're going to move back to the front. Right there. Pull this back up on the bar. And our deck should be, again, slightly suspended. Grab our little pin and slide it back in to keep that locked in place. Now, here's the tricky part. May have to wrestle with this a little bit. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. This part is a little tricky. Sometimes your tensioner pulley is going to be right up there. You got to slide that belt back on this pulley right here. So you're going to have to pull on it a little bit. Maybe wrestle with it. Let's see if it wants to win today or if it's going to let me win. And you do want to watch your fingers when you do this, because when you get them in there and get them pinched, it does hurt. But as you get it started, you can twist it on around, and there you go. All right, so there we have it. The deck's back on, shiny new blades. Belt's on there real good. You do want to check. A problem that I had here is you want to make sure that your deck, or your belt rather, is up on those pulleys for your blade pulleys on either side. Make sure it's up on there. Just to ensure when you go to cut grass that you're not cutting on one side and the other side's not even spinning, or your blade flies off, or belt flies off, or something like that. So there we have it. We're back in business, ready to mow. Now, in a previous video, I took the opportunity to do a real quick little how-to on how to level your deck, which I kind of did it on the fly. I was cutting grass and noticed it was really bad out of level, and decided I was going to try to fix that. Walked around the mower for a while and then found this little nut over here, right there, that I alluded to in another video, which this is actually your deck leveling for this unit. So I think I'm going to take this opportunity to do another video, a how-to on how to go ahead and level your deck while I'm at this stage of servicing my lawnmower. So I'll be back with that video very soon. Thanks for watching.